happen if I said I was Greg Nagel?
My brain broke.
All right. All right, for real. Welcome to Four Brewers. My name is Matt Becker, and as always, I'm joined by
John Holzer.
Jason Harris.
Greg Nagel.
And we've got some woots.
Woot stout.
Woo! Some woo! A little bit of woo! But,
Up in your morning.
Have you guys seen Black Dynamite?
Oh, of course.
It's like, what does Little Richard say? Woo!
That's only in the morning.
Anaconda malt liquor makes you go woo.
Awesome.
A little dick.
Gives you Little Richard?
So we're doing some boots out, but to start, we're doing a little warm up,
Pre-gaming.
because we need it.
Yeah, we gotta ease into these big old stouts.
Yeah.
because,
They got to
the
warm
root
up a
stout
bit
is-
too.
Yeah. But we're starting with some Pick 6, which is a beer that Jason was, remiss to find out that I was unfamiliar with.
Yeah, I was like, what do you think of Pick 6 as a Pilsner? And Matt's like, what's that? And I was like, how dare you, sir?
Yeah, you're like,
God.
offended. So
Pick 6 Pilsner from Pizza Port.
the canned pizza port, not
Yeah.
just a random pizza
So
port.
I got into like a little
Port
bit of an
Brewing.
altercation about it. Not really, but
all pizza port brewing is canned.
yeah. So
yes, meaning not one of the pubs.
Let's just
So-
say this: pizza port is pizza port. Port brewing is port brewing. The
Yeah.
Lost Abbey is the Lost Abbey.
because I was talking
And
to
port
somebody,
brewing.
I was talking to
But
somebody
they're
at a bar,
different.
and I was like, "Yeah, Pizza Port only has the 2 IPAs that they've canned." And then the bartender was like, "Well, they have a bunch in bottles." I was like, "No, not Pizza Port." He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh, he's talking about port brewing." And
Right.
they're kind of similar. The story was, I guess, like Tom Arthur was kind of related to Pizza Port, and then they sort of took the branding and made port brewing out of Lost Abbey, but they don't really bear any relation outside of doing
On
Shark
purpose.
Bite.
It's
On
a
purpose.
it's a very
legal thing.
it's a very convoluted relationship.
It keeps the business separate for legal reasons, and also there's this budget for this thing, and there's this budget for that thing, so they can kind of stay separate.
On Facebook, they would say it's complicated.
But Pizza
Am I
Port,
right?
Pizza Port
Am I
in
right?
cans is, in my opinion, the far superior brewery to port brewing.
Essentially, for the ABC purposes, having a brew pub and having a production brewery is way two different things. So it makes sense to split those books.
Right.
And I mean,
Although Pizza Port properly now has like 5 brew
Production
pubs
brewery,
and
right.
a production brewery.
I think the pizza port beers have all been stellar. They've all been great. But I don't want to diminish the port brewing brand of beers.
I feel like
there are definitely some that are misses on the port side. But I think overall the port brewing beers are pretty good.
They
too.
have the same
Pretty great.
quality gremlins that Lost Abbey always has. Like Mongo is crazy, full of floaties and gross, and
And
I've had Gushers.
that's
I've had
recently too.
Gushers,
You've
sure.
seen it recently like that. So
yeah, for the last like 2 years it's been that way.
Yeah, it's longer than that.
Yeah.
like ever since that beer came out.
Where
for
does the
some
hop freshener
fucking
thing
reason.
fall on all that?
They're, I think, they like made a new name. They pulled a Stone, right? Where Stone was like, we have the Stochasticity Project, and it's not Stone.
it's essentially
for
the
some
same
fucking
as
reason.
it's the same as everything else. It's just another name for a different company within Pizza Port.
They're like, we've got more money than we know what to do with. Let's file the paperwork to start a new brand.
But if you look at the bottle, it doesn't scream Pizza Port on it.
Well, if they're called the Hop Concept too, by the way.
Yeah.
And on the back, I believe it alludes. It says brought to you by the same folks in San Marcos, saying Pizza Port. Basically, it's Pizza Port. So
No, port brewing.
or I'm sorry, Port Brewing.
We're making it
Big
very
difference.
Important distinction. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
You're totally right. And I apologize for that. Anyone who's listening from Port Brewing Company or Pizza Port, because I've been corrected before online for doing that, and that kind of pissed me off.
It bothers
We'll
me
do it
too
in real
because
time.
I really like Pizza Port, and I think Port Brewing almost kind of sullies the brand. It's not that they're bad, but everyone's like, oh yeah, I had a couple of their beers, they're okay. But where it's like, no, we're talking about Pizza Port, and they're awesome.
There is a clear difference
Port Brewing.
between Port and Pizza Port, definitely.
Yes. Yeah.
But everything they've released in cans so far has been great. Like
Oh, yeah.
really, really, really great.
Yeah. What does everyone think of this beer?
Mine's
It's
empty.
not that great. I'm just
I'm
kidding.
I pretty much finished mine already.
Sounds like
Pilsner,
a rare miss.
I bought this a week ago. Not this beer, but I bought a 6-pack for myself, and it was really good. This is a Pilsner. Right?
Not sure if it says anything, but when I was down at Bressie where they can, Bressie Ranch Pizza Port is the location where they do all the canning. And I was like, give me one of every 6-pack, sir. And they were out of this.
Oh, really?
They had everything else. They had Swami and Chronic, Kook, and
Kook's a double IPA, right?
Kook's a double IPA, Swami's a single IPA, Chronic's an amber, and then they had Ponto, the session.
Chronic's the only one I have not had in cans yet.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Chronic is one of my favorite beers of the style.
This is super bitter.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Like way
I was going to get to that.
bitter, like distractingly bitter.
It's like an IPL, but with
Sounds like my ex-wife.
Pilsner malt.
Oh.
All right, Rodney.
I think IPL is a good way to put it.
Yeah, it's an
Greg.
IPL with Pilsner malt and some Pilsner hops. It's delicious. I like it.
Yeah, it's
It's for me, it's like a freeway of a beer. There's the malt on one side, and then there's the hops on the other.
and they are
that's
just
pretty
going in
much it.
opposite directions.
That's what they should
Yeah.
be doing.
It's too fucking bitter to me. Like,
Really?
I think it really. See, for me, when I get a Pilsner, I want something that I can drink and not really think about, but you can think about it if you want to. You know what I mean? But like the bitterness of it really takes away from the drinkability. It's like, when a flavor is like so in your face like that, it's.
I think we're at I would say we're at 50 degrees Fahrenheit here.
Yeah, it's pretty warm. It's almost cellar
warmer
temp.
side, but
yeah.
And I will say the fact that it's warmer. When I had this originally, I did think, wow, this is really bitter. And then we started talking about the girl skateboard from St. Archer and how that's a little on the bitter side, but Pilsners tend to be on the hoppy side. So I thought, well, maybe it was just me drinking a Pilsner, but no, it's pretty bitter. And the heat, the warmth of the beer just totally emphasizes it. And you get way more of that hop character too.
I think the hops could be a little bit less brash. Maybe a different water profile or something like that. They're pretty in your face.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing is like maybe they're using a hop variety for bittering that just has a ton of cohumulone in it or something like that.
Yeah.
There's a certain roughness to the character
Like that,
of the bitterness.
what do you call it? The what's that hop that's super in your face?
Oh, the Chinook.
The Chinooki. It gets Chinooki.
And I don't know if it's
I don't think
Chinooki
it
per
is,
se.
no.
I mean,
it's German.
There's a bunch of there's a
noble.
bunch of different like.
Wasn't Chinooki like the most popular character on Jersey Shore?
I think it was. Yeah.
No, he was my
barfed in,
Chinooki was my favorite little rascal.
Kaniki from Greece. Yeah.
But yeah, so I would
Would try it again.
I would take a Pivo over this personally. Like
I
Pivo's
think
kind of my go-to at the moment.
Yeah, I think it's a little too warm. Not that, I mean, that shouldn't really matter all that much, but it does really emphasize the hop character a lot, which I think is bad for this. But I still like the beer. I would totally buy this beer
buy it again.
Well, it's like I think
check it out again.
the aroma being emphasized is a good thing, and
I have
it has a
bought this again.
really nice aroma. But like the bitterness is just too much for me.
Is this
so.
Pizza Port Brewing's first lager? I mean, in
Yeah.
a can. I mean, so it's fairly new. Maybe they'll dial it in.
Yeah, here's hoping.
Yeah,
I think it's dope.
I'd try it again.
You would.
Yeah. This is really adding credence. We need to have our mixed Pilsner showdown.
Yes,
I really
we
think
do.
we need to do
Definitely,
it.
I agree.
definitely.
We want to mix in like some American pills, European pills, like Czech, German.
Well, judging by the rest of our showdowns, you know what's going to win? Firestone.
That's right.
Yeah, no
'cause
shit.
They always do.
Yeah, endlessly.
Honestly,
they pay us handily.
They'd be right. Can you imagine if Firestone gave us anything for free? We like tease 10% of our income to them.
Yes, sir. So shall we woot this shit?
Woo!
We're starting at 1.0, I take it. And then, or do you want to start new and go back?
I don't know.
Let's start from the bottom. Now we're here.
Sure.
Let's start with the oldest one.
So the oldest one came out, I guess.
What are you doing?
Woo.
There's gonna be like two people who recognize like the thing that I'm singing, but forget about it.
Yeah, even like normally I get references, but
It was a song called "Woo Boost" by Rusco, who was a pioneer of the dubstep.
Burritos at 4 a.m.
Have you guys heard the new Dr. Dre album?
Yeah.
I thought the new Lil Dicky was better.
And all of his ghostwriting. How he had like everyone else write songs for him.
Well, you got to remember, he also lays down the music too. So it's
Well,
not,
that's all he does. He didn't rap on the whole album.
I think he did. There's,
And, like,
there's a couple parts,
maybe
yeah.
one track or like one verse, but
I
every
think
song he
a
had
lot
other
of people are
sing.
like comparing it to the Chronic, where he had a big part vocally on that. But
He didn't have a big part on this album. He barely.
No,
on
he
it.
didn't. But like, yeah, I think that's because a lot of Jay Price in particular was like, well, it's a bunch of guest people. Well,
It's basically like a
but
compilation album.
Dr. Dre wrote the music. Like,
Yeah, with Jay Price though, I was like, dude, some people listen to music, but are you hearing it?
Anyway.
I think the new Lil Dicky's better. Professional rapper Lil Dicky. Check it out.
What do you think of Meek Mill? Was that
I
his
don't-
name? Meek Mill?
Yeah, I didn't get into that.
Yeah,
No?
I have no dog in that fight at all.
I know
Meek Mill
he-
versus Drake.
I know he
and
got
then,
taken
like,
down by an epic diss track by Drake.
that actually charted.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything from Drake.
I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, he's kind of like a wuss rapper. Like
He's
Kind of what I
Canadian.
thought when I saw him.
yeah, he
Canadian.
is. Yeah, he was Wheelchair Jimmy on Degrassi. That's not a joke.
Really?
Like, yeah, he played Wheelchair Jimmy
Well,
on
that doesn't
Degrassi.
mean he should be a wussy rapper.
Yeah, but he's from Toronto.
Oh, so Canadians are wussies.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, pretty much.
So like, yeah, started from the bottom.
Yeah,
now
yeah.
we're here. That's Drake.
Yeah, you know what the Canadians do well? Progressive house music. Okay, not exactly.
Hey, prog rock.
Yeah, true. Okay,
Rush.
corrected.
Oh, Getty's amazing, eh?
Corrected.
Rush, yes.
Geddy Lee, best bass player in the world.
Oh, get out of here with all that. Getty's amazing, eh?
Shall we drink this beer?
Yeah. So the first one we've got here is the Woot Stout.
Give me some of the Woodstoke.
I guess I don't know if you can call it 1.0.
Yeah, I think
One
it'd be
point, I
1.0.
believe they in fact
That's
do.
in nerd language.
no,
The
I don't-
1.0.
beta test.
I don't think Woot Stout, the original, is called 1.0.
Well,
the
if they call the
2.0
other
is
ones
2.0.
2 and 3, then this is 1. Fuck
Well,
you.
you could call it 1.0.
I'll fight you all.
This is a stout that was made in collaboration with Drew Curtis, Will Wheaton.
Space nerd Will.
Will Wheaton.
How do you collaborate with a guy who runs a website? Like, what was his contribution? You guys,
There's
Hazelnuts.
Wheat. There's wheat.
you guys did a show.
No, it's pecans, right?
In the old
pecans, yes,
New Brew
thank you.
Thursday days, so you guys know more about this beer.
Yeah.
You talked to the Wheaton himself.
So obviously, Will Wheaton contributed wheat to this recipe,
Space nerd Will Wheaton.
which I mean,
King of the Nerds.
okay,
Space nerd.
Greg Hook brought the hops because he's Greg Cook from Stone Brewing Company.
Well,
Yes,
and also
hops.
the entire brewing facility.
Here,
and-
that's so. Are we starting from
Yeah,
3.0?
no, we're starting at 1.
Yeah, let's start
That's
number
3.
one.
Here's number 1.
Is it?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
number
it's the one with the
1.
fancy cap.
Wow.
You switched them. You switched them.
Yeah.
You
Well, they
fucking-
look good to me.
You fucking button hooked
1,
me.
2, 3. Yeah, I didn't button hook you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna execute a button hook pattern.
You fucking button hook me, guy.
You fucking button hooked me. Better not do that again, you cocksucker.
You better not do that. I say that so often at work to people I work with, and they're like, "What?" And I'm like, "No."
I have no idea what you guys
Adam
are talking
Sandler,
about.
the goat.
The talk.
the goat.
The goat.
The goat.
Put me up on the mosh pit, toss me around, crank it up, fuckers.
The Ragu Festival.
Well, fuck me in the goat ass.
There you go.
I have an AM radio on the truck. You know, it's not MTZ.
I'm just sitting here tied to the fucking truck as usual.
So, yeah.
So, like I said, this is,
Wheaton brought the wheat because the name. Hey, that's funny. And then Drew Curtis brought
Pecans.
Cons.
That's
and
so.
then
Will
hops.
Wheaton brings the wheat sounds like something out of like a mid '80s rap. Like, Wheaton brings the wheat because on the face.
That was awesome.
that could not have been any whiter.
Right? Exactly. Because rap was pretty white back then, even when it wasn't white people. It was just real like.
I don't think that's true at all.
No, they'd be like a hippity hop, hippity hop, hold up,
Yeah, no, I just
That's called hip hop.
yeah, I don't think that equates to whiteness.
I don't know. It's pretty lame. But,
No, don't.
Lame. That's different.
It was like real like cheerful and and weird. I don't know.
And over the years, like black people got oppressed, and now they're angry. Which,
Well, it got angrier. Yeah. Then you had
And
like
rightly so.
NWA, right?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Wow. No, let's stop talking about this.
All right.
So the first one, we did do a show with New Brew Thursday at what they call it. It was the
it was at Liberty Station.
Wootstock.
Yes, Wootstock.
Was it Wootstock?
It was Wootstock.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, but what
I watched that show.
that's okay.
It
The
was HopCon.
HopCon, yeah, that's what they called it.
Which
'Cause
was like-
Wootstock is the thing that Will Wheaton and all the other
Yeah.
Dude.
But HopCon was a thing that was just like a release party for this beer and
Right.
not a con in any shape, way, or form.
Well, they had it during Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Which is
And so it's like, it's gone. We're gonna use the name because that's funny. And that was it.
Yeah, but it was a cool event though. The first one. I mean,
Yeah, it was fine.
Apparently they still have it.
It was a shitload of stone beer.
Yeah, every time they release it.
Did you guys
there's a
live
hot
stream
con.
that? Because I think I watched part of that
We did
while I was driving in traffic.
Yep.
Oh, sweet.
We did. Actually, I had the same cameras like mounted right under the DSLR, and it
You
worked
guys,
pretty well.
HopCon this year had Kevin Eastman from the Ninja Turtles.
I don't even know what that is.
He's the co-creator of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, sure.
You don't like the Ninja Turtles?
Not anymore.
Why?
Michael
not?
Bay.
Well, what?
The original.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it kind of ruins it.
If somebody makes a shitty cover of a song you like, that doesn't make the song go away.
Kind of
Good.
does.
Good. That's a good way to put
A
it.
little bit.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
Sort of does.
No.
Yeah, it kind of does. A
Wow.
little bit.
Wow.
You know, gets into my brain. It filters into my brain and doesn't go away. I have no control over my thoughts.
Yeah, that's
Quote of the day.
So this beer.
Anyway, when we had it that day, it came off really, really hot. To me.
Definitely. Yeah, that's
It
what
was
I think.
super hot.
I think I noted that it was a hot mess when it came out.
So
Now it's kind of hot and oxidized.
really.
Yeah.
It tastes
This is-
like
this
holy
is
shit. They
not-
had a pizza saison.
That sounds disgusting.
it's got this the pecan finish on it. I will give it props for. That's like the redeeming quality on the finish. There's like this like boozy pecan pie thing. If you shut your eyes and make believe it's a barley wine,
My memory of this beer is that it's super nutty, and I don't
It's
like
pretty nutty.
and I don't like nuts. So I don't know why we suggested this show, but we'll try. I gotta go ahead and actually drink it now.
and it's really aggressively bitter. Just
Fucking
the
Christ.
bitter on it. Is
Well,
just,
that's the hops, yo.
I don't taste
Wow.
bitterness really. Like it's like
for me, it's just
you know
like,
how Stephen Colbert like doesn't see
handle.
color. Like I don't taste bitter. I don't think it just
You're
doesn't.
just immune to it.
Yeah, I
What
just
it is.
don't register.
No. Nope. And gone.
I'm gonna go ahead and say you guys are wrong. I actually kind of like this.
No.
I'm kind of digging it.
Yeah, and getting a chocolatey flavor from it, and
Yeah. that's the
it's a little boozy. But I mean, what the fuck do you expect from 13% or whatever?
I'm getting boozy and cardboard and nuts and harsh. That's what I get. Like,
In a
but
nutshell.
but tell us about the beer.
oh,
Heyo.
I think you're being a little too harsh on it, Matt.
Matt's
no.
being way too harsh.
Nope.
That was way harsh. Ty.
gross.
It's not gross.
Yep.
Matt, you're a
Okay,
virgin
everyone.
who
Matt is
can't
wrong
drive.
on this.
No.
Not into that at
I
all.
can see what Matt's saying, definitely. but
Not a
Matt
little
drooled
bit.
too much diacetyl into that one. So
the bitterness for me is just
No,
I can't do it.
I think it's very clean. It's just terrible.
wow. Jesus.
No, yeah, that's like all kinds
Who
of.
do you think made it terrible? The fart guy?
That's
'Cause
everything
I don't
that
like
I.
fart.
That's everything that I don't like.
Yeah, the
in a
fart
beer.
guy really, I think, ruined this beer.
I don't like. We were explaining. Was it you that was asking what FARC was?
Yes.
It's like Reddit if there wasn't an algorithm and there was just a guy that approved every post.
Yeah, and the guy was like 40,
And it was like,
40
here's our
years old and
Photoshop
cranky.
challenge.
Yeah.
Here's our Photoshop Friday thing, even though Something Awful did that like 5 years before.
Yeah. Back in like the
Wait. Are we talking shit on Fark now? or-
Yeah, we don't like
pretty
Fark.
much. Yeah,
We're something awful
we're
people.
SA goons over here on the side of the
There was a
table.
big rivalry back in the day.
Oh yeah,
Back when FARC was relevant, which was 10
No,
years before the
take it. Take
even
it.
Something Awful does not like space nerd Will Wheaton.
Yeah. Well, I like Wheaton though.
All right, no,
He's all right.
yeah, whatever.
So we should not
this
expect
beer-
retweets.
He's beaten for Wheaton.
No. Yeah, this beer
I invited Will on this show too, and he didn't respond. But that would have
Strangely
been awkward
enough.
if he was here.
Yeah.
because he knew I was going to be on.
He's like, I heard that show and it's full of goony goons, so there's no stairs in my house.
No stairs in the house. You can't be on the show.
Shout out to the Something Awful beer thread, which those guys are cool as hell. There's
Yeah,
a
it's
couple of
getting
them
there.
that listen to us.
It's no Reddit.
There's a,
I've never heard of something awful.
It's certainly not.
what is
I mean,
Something
at this
Awful?
point, Something Awful is kind of like a internet memory. They popularized all your base.
Ah,
If that wants to date it for you a little bit.
Yeah, I had a website with an archive of all your bases.
That's dope. I probably used that website,
Right.
man. But I don't know, Reddit beer, I'm not a big fan of it. Those guys, they upvote anything that's like macro beer sucks, am I right? And then there'll be like actual beer news and everyone's like don't care.
Yeah, it's a negative place on the internet.
It's all guys circle jerking about how much they hate Budweiser.
Is it just r/beer, or is it just Reddit in general?
Yeah. Well,
no, I'd say r/beer. It's like an extension of like Beer Advocate.
Yeah, it's kind of like the swamp of everyone who's gotten
people
banned from Beer Advocate. Yeah,
it's it's all people who are new to beer. So like, there's nothing wrong with being new to craft beer, right? But like, what you see is this pattern where guys will
like the voice with beer over here.
They get into craft beer. And then they like define themselves as this person who is anti macro beer,
right?
Because they don't know enough about beer to be for something, right?
Right.
Like, I'm not educated enough on the topic to speak intelligently about what I like, so I'm just going to really hammer on.
Budweiser sucks.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I saw someone post a picture the other day, and it was like a fridge with like Bud Miller.
I saw that,
and they're just like, "What a nightmare!" And then one guy's like, "Well, at least there's Amstel Light." Yeah, because the macro lager that they shipped over from Europe is somehow fucking better.
Yeah, seriously.
Like,
Amstel Light is actually like much worse than like, for example, Miller Light.
It is shit.
Yeah, it's like
gross.
that's really, really
and
bad.
that mindset where it's like macro lagers are fine as long as they come on a boat from Europe. Like, oh, so you're okay with factory produced light lagers as long as they're not made in a factory near you?
It's a fair assessment.
But so Reddit R beer is full of those people.
Yeah.
It'll be like, oh, I fuss over these beers and I'm making a pumpkin peach whatever, and then it gets like 300 upvotes.
Yeah.
And then it'll be like, new fucking Sierra Nevada facility opening. I don't give a shit. I don't know what's going on.
Well, that just means more blah 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 over on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Curmudgeon.
Oh, so we're gonna have more pale ale. Bleh.
Is there a good beer subreddit out there?
OC beer is pretty good.
On Reddit, LA beer is pretty bad. The
LA beer is good.
Their homebrew forum's pretty good.
Okay.
Reddit, homebrewing. Yeah,
Absolutely.
those guys are cool. Although they did shit on our homebrew thing when we shut off the thing. Reddit, you like
So
to
fuck
shit on
those guys.
stuff, Reddit?
Yeah. Oh, so that's the thing, though. Is like Reddit is a place for people to shit on things. That's kind of the idea.
Just what we were saying
It's the
earlier,
toilet
which
of
is
the internet.
It's easy to be negative because it's hard to actually positively contribute to something.
Yeah.
So it's a lot easier to just try to tear down what somebody else did.
Yeah, that's true.
Wow.
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 Oh wow!
So they, people
You can't even
downgrade
say the
shit
word.
out of everything.
You can't even say the word.
Wow.
Wow.
Let's say it in unison.
about beer
1, 2,
online.
3.
Wow.
Oh wow!
Oh wow.
All right. So Matt, not a fan of Woot Stout 1.0.
Not at all.
Yeah,
bode
it was-
well for-
1.0.
Not even a little bit.
It was like the voice over here.
Hey,
where
maybe
I
if you
did not buying as well.
if you didn't like Greg Cook, maybe Aisha Tyler will win you over.
I am a fan of Aisha Tyler. That's for
She
sure.
is funny.
Yeah, I think the 2.0. What was Greg doing?
He was on a.
Wasn't he in
doing
Bangkok or whatever?
Wasn't he doing the German thing, like touring
he was
Germany
like
to
barefoot walking through like
Grasshopper.
Thailand and learning Eastern medicine and I don't.
getting
He was
VD
finding
and-
himself.
Yeah, he stopped cutting his hair and he started wearing flowing pants and.
No, at this point, I think
himself and his
he had
beard.
cut off his beard once for charity, which he raised like $25,000 for, I think. But it was growing back. He was finding himself again.
He has the long hair, which right on for long hair. I mean, I'm growing my shit out, so
Yeah, but shave your
Are you?
beard, hippie.
How long are you gonna grow it?
long as I can.
Like long hair, Matt?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
okay,
I've seen those photos. I'm looking forward to it.
Dude, see, the thing is like long hair used to be like this major part of my identity, and then I cut it off, and I've regretted it ever since.
Really? I had no regrets. I had long hair for
You
like
look
10
so
years.
good, like cleaned up.
I look really good with long hair too.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Matt, you look
Glistening
so
out of the
good.
shower.
Like you look like a. I'm jealous. That's how good you look.
Well, thank you, John.
You did look like Pete Campbell.
Yeah, and you
Is that
calling
what you're
me-
trying to get
Yeah,
out of?
that's one of those reasons is to have you not fucking call me
without the
Pete
receding
Campbell.
hairline.
Yeah, exactly.
So are we talking middle of the back, butt, ankles?
Yeah, no, like middle of the back, probably like bottom of the shoulder blades.
So once it grows out, we need to do a campaign to cut it off to
Why?
raise money for charity.
I don't want to give that shit to charity.
Why?
I want to keep it for myself.
How many cancer kids need hair?
Yeah, fuck cancer kids. I want to have my hair.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Fucking asshole cancer kids. It's not my fault they got cancer.
So here's one of the big reasons.
Whoa.
Wow.
Jesus.
Wow. Wow, I'm offensive.
Doesn't like cancer kids. Eh?
This is gonna be that kind of show.
gonna
We're
go
just
to
gonna
Chalk
offend.
and-
We're gonna offend everyone.
I'm gonna go
on
to
the
Chalk
show.
on the way home and donate like $100. just so we're
You
just,
guys-
like, covered.
Just to make yourself feel better.
I want to go on record. I'm going to put this back on topic a little bit, but what my bullshit pulled out of my ass, it says Greg spent the first half of 2014 on an international walkabout style sabbatical.
There you go.
That's
Good for
pretty
him.
much what I said.
That's pretty badass.
Oh yeah, he did take that sabbatical.
That's because you wrote the back.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's like, what am I going to do with this dump truck full of money they brought me? I guess I'll hang out for a while and see.
Well, after that
I'll go to
sabbatical,
Bangkok.
he's pretty much checked out of social media. I know he's busy. Like they're building a brewery in Germany and one in North
Yeah, that's being pretty
Carolina.
Something like that, yeah.
So yeah,
busy. Pull the plug in the hotel thing, and
He's a business.
Did they
pull the plug?
Did they pull the plug completely? Or
I thought so.
yeah, because they were going
Or
for it for
it's
a
on
while.
hold.
For
Yeah.
what?
I don't know.
For
The Stone
the
Hotel.
Stone bed and breakfast, whatever.
Oh, really?
They had
That's
going.
a
Yeah.
bummer. I want to go to that.
Yeah, I was gonna say of all the things that Stone's been doing, this is what I was the most.
I want to
interested in.
masturbate all over my hotel room in Stone.
You're gonna be the
I mean, you
first
can
one.
do that in
Just coat
anywhere.
the walls.
You're gonna be the first person to create a reason for someone to use a black light when they walk in.
Ejaculation's a sprinkler. Just
Greg's going to lose his deposit.
So
Anyway.
2.0 with Aisha.
All right. So the
They added-
difference with this one is go ahead.
They added chocolate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
this has different nerds.
Aisha Tyler's the only different one. It's otherwise the
okay.
same nerds. Because Greg Cook was on sabbatical, wandering through.
Oh, so they added a nerd.
Like Matt's reaction is like there was a Nestle Quick, like an unstirred chunk of it, just dry bombed him in the mouth.
Jesus Christ.
I haven't drank it yet, but it doesn't smell that great.
And it does have some oxidation on it as well.
It smells more oxidized than the 2013.
It's right up there. Yeah. Not as nutty.
More bourbon barrel?
No, it's not barrel aged.
Is
It's just hot as fuck.
It's partially barrel aged.
It's like, is it really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
They
get some bourbon
at
character
least
out of it.
one of the beers. I think all of them though. They like it's blended, so
Okay.
quarter of it's bourbon barrel aged.
Oh, okay. No.
Woof.
I'm just getting this one. It's kind of thin. Like there's. I get a little bit of cocoa and then barrel, but that's like there's not a backbone there. Like I'm not getting anything holding it together. It's just kind of like I don't know. And Stone, like I will argue all day that Stone IRS is fucking up there with the best barrel aged stouts that you can get, or
For the price, definitely.
yeah.
even barrel aged IRS like Fyodor's or whatever.
Good God.
Well,
yeah.
but the thing about that beer is that it's a 3-year beer. You have to let it sit for like 3 fucking years to make it like really, really great.
Dialed
You know,
in.
I don't like that beer at all when it's fresh because it's too fucking hot. Just like this is. It's ugh.
This is I don't know, man.
It hurts my face.
This one feels a little messy.
I don't think
Yeah,
it's as
it's-
hot as Matt's saying.
It hurt my face.
I'm
Like,
getting
my
more
first
heat than
sip,
the
yeah.
last beer. Are they all the same ABV?
Good question.
This is 13.5.
I
so it's
don't
a
see myself
little bit-
enjoying this at all.
What's that?
I can't enjoy this at all.
Yeah, it's just
It's not enjoyable. There's
Yeah.
not.
See, here's my issue, and I
It's
have
too
this.
bitter.
Yeah, I have this issue with a lot of stone beers, and kind of as a rule, but I don't want a beer that I feel like it's fighting my mouth. You know what I mean? Like I don't want a beer to be a challenge. You know, I want it to be an enjoyable experience. I don't want to have to, power
Okay, so
through it.
you don't want
you
it to
know?
be a fight. You don't have a problem
Yeah.
with complex beers, but you don't want to have to fight your beer.
Yeah, exactly. Like this is so aggressive. It's so aggressive.
This
Booze,
should be
bitter.
this beer on paper should be my ideal beer because I like aggressive beers. I like big beers. I like
You like big
nerdy
bitterness,
shit. I
yeah.
like comic books. I like Will Wheaton. I like Leet Speak. Like everything on this beer is like, all right, Jason, we finally made one for you.
Right.
Nope, I'm not like again. It feels like there's elements there that could work, but they're just not tied together the way I want out of a beer.
Yeah, exactly. It feels very slapdash.
And it's odd because this is a very popular beer. Like people
I know people
People go
lose shit for
nuts
it.
over this stuff.
And I haven't retried it in a while because I just remember thinking a little nutty for me.
Right.
But I don't know, man.
Yeah,
Well,
Jeff K does not think it's leet.
Well, I mean, like, so the current version came out like what, 3 weeks ago, maybe, like not that long ago, right?
July, right? So it comes out during Comic-Con.
All right.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe they got it with the third one.
Maybe it shouldn't be aged.
Maybe.
Okay.
Let's hear John.
I have the different palate.
Second opinion.
I don't mind this beer. It's fine. I mean, I get the thinness. Because when I drink it, like kind of like the bitterness just kind of like hangs out on the back of my palate and then it goes away.
Right.
I'm Koovy.
I think it smells pretty good. I don't think it's over hot. I mean, maybe it's because I've had a lot of beer today, but I think I've been pacing myself quite well and rinsing my palate and everything.
Yeah,
but
this is the biggest beers we've had today.
It's astringent on the end. Like,
Yeah.
there's
I don't know.
something.
I kind of like it.
And honest,
I don't have I'm not offended by it. It's not bad.
dude, I get.
You don't have to apologize,
honestly,
John. If you have a dissenting opinion, we welcome it.
dissenting
for sure.
opinions.
I don't think I apologized.
I get a little oxidation, some alcohol
Dude, so do
heat,
I. That's another
little
thing.
acetone thing.
That's another thing that's surprising is like how oxidized this is. It smells like wet cardboard, which
And it's
is
only
like
a year
shocking.
old.
and
Yeah.
then the bitterness is just way over the top for my palate, so
Yeah.
that's why I don't care for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's already stone.
Not into that.
I'll
I
say
like a
that
lot
the
of your beers with
bitterness.
the same
I
one.
mean, we've
Yeah.
been really nice to a lot of Stone beer, so they can take a hit.
Oh yeah, I think so. This is a collaboration. It's not like the regular lineup or anything.
And like again, I will argue all day. Like for me, my biggest regret in our stout show is that we didn't include the Stone Fedor.
The Fedors, yeah.
Like that was one of my biggest. Like I really wanted to see how that guy went in the mix.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one I don't get it. You know, more Fedors for me while people are buying Woots. But let's try it fresh.
So Woot Stout 3.0, that is back to the original lineup, right? Drew Curtis,
Greg Cook's
and,
back from his
Space
sabbatical.
Wheaton. I don't know.
Super sabbatical.
I'll say this. How about this? The 2.0 was better than the 1.0 for me.
I disagree. I like the 1.0 better than the 2. The 2
I thought they were both equally not good.
weirdly, even though the 2 had chocolate added, I got more of a chocolate note out of the 1.
2 was less bitter to
I
me.
don't think 1.0 didn't have chocolate.
Yeah, but I got more chocolate flavor out of it, even though 2
okay.
actually had chocolate in it.
Got it.
Gotta say, the aroma on 3.0 is heads and tails above the rest. I mean, this is actually really nice. I'm getting a lot of like,
You're getting no oxidation on it.
dark cocoa, no oxidation. Yeah, dark cocoa.
That's the difference.
I make a lot of-
Lorenzini's commenting, nuts and wheat do not age well.
Well, I don't know about wheat. I'm not sure about that, but nuts, I can definitely see
forward
nuts.
beers you do want to kind of drink fresh, right? Like you don't want to age a
Well, depending on what it is. I mean,
A
like,
wheat
but like
wine.
a Weizenbach or a wheat wine.
Wheat wine is universally
Weizenbach.
slang for a piece of shit beer. Generally, I've never
Weizenbach's
had
will
one
age.
that was good. Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I don't know if wheat's an immediate like.
You guys ever had a wheat wine you like? Let's go on record here.
Yes,
white
actually, Smutty Nose makes a really killer wheat wine.
Huh.
Yeah.
We should do some Smutty Nose in the show.
We should.
We don't
Smut
get
Labs.
it here, I
How
don't
about
think.
no?
I can get some
Smut
Smut
Labs.
We can get
Can
some
you?
of them. Yeah, you can get finest kind, and like we get the.
It's pretty limited.
Yeah, we get like
I'll reach
the
out to my
top of their line.
assholes.
Yeah.
We do get Smutty here?
Yeah.
Bodega has it all the time.
They
Yeah.
just
High Time does
started,
too.
like
Like-
just recently.
like a
Not the
year
rare
ago.
stuff though.
Yeah.
Bouncy house.
Huh. No idea.
But I'm getting some really nice like Madeira like Venice like notes off the aroma. It's all it's like
Did you
kinda-
say Madeira goes to a vineyard? Medea?
Madeira's a good
I
call.
fucked it up.
It's okay. It's okay. It was a good try though. You know, we whiff it every once in a while. You know that
I'm just
happens.
picturing that Bart Simpson with the cake that says "At least you tried."
This is better, but still not a fan. I don't know.
This is a little thinner.
It's a little thinner. It's not as brash.
It's more rich.
It's not as
Not as bitter.
It's fuller. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a better mouthfeel.
It's still on the hot side, but this is by far my favorite. This
It's
is heads
really
and-
boozy. Yeah,
This is
but
heads and tails above the rest. I think. I am actually enjoying this quite a bit.
this one's not a struggle, but it's still not my favorite.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I'm not fighting through this.
You're not on the struggle bus.
Yeah. Struggle bus. What does that even mean?
Struggle bus.
It's actually
Struggle bus.
it's a podcast
Oh, okay.
called the Struggle Bus. Yeah.
It's
makes
really
sense,
boozy,
man.
man.
It's still hot as fuck. It still kind of burns the nostrils.
The heat is the big thing on this that I think is worse because it's new.
Yeah, pitch more yeast. Like, come on.
I mean, it's 13 and a half. It's going to be hot.
I don't know, man. Like, I've had some beers that were 13 and a half that were not this fucking hot.
Name one.
Brewery anniversary beer, honestly.
Nice, dude. Nice.
Yeah, I'm serious. Like,
Company man.
and here's the thing though with that is like I've been lucky enough to just taste it right out the tank and it's not that fucking hot. So I mean you
I bet it's
can
not.
you can certainly pull it off without it being
When you
this
get
fucking
thiefed in the
hot.
mouth.
Yes. No, I get Zwickle mouth. I just like open up the fucking sample port.
Yeah,
just like
why waste a glass?
Just stick it in my veins.
No, this is Stone's highest ABV beer that they've ever done.
Is it really?
Yeah, because
What about Stonewall?
Old Guardian would be the next one.
The Stonewall was like 12.
Oh, that was
12 and a half. Or
Well, this is
something like that, wasn't
13.5.
it? Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Well,
Well,
it's
13 this year, 13.5 last year.
Fundamental
Yeah.
observation, not hot.
Yeah, and Pukachev's, which
Not
we did on the
yeah,
show,
exactly.
wasn't hot. you know?
Yeah, Black Note, same thing. Well, however, it should be noted that all of those beers that we're talking about were all barrel aged, and so that gave it a lot of time
Again,
to
this
cool
is
off.
1/4 barrel aged, which
Yeah.
is weird.
I don't think that's weird. I think that's smart. Like,
Yeah, Stonewall was 12.8.
okay,
So technically this is bigger.
yeah.
The biggest
Stonewall, by the way, was one of my like great beer disappointments. Like, I wish I could have had it when it was more fresh because obviously it was like years old.
Yeah, that's a beer you get and you just say, "Look, I got a Stonewall."
Yeah, check out this bottle that I
like
have.
they will never make this again.
Yeah, exactly. For the record, Stonewall was the beer that they gave to people to that like
There's a
helped
special
them.
wall at Stone.
Yeah.
You could it's like a charity kind of thing.
Yeah,
They did.
it was like you could like take part in building this wall for. It was right when they were building their new facility.
Yeah.
Their current facility, I should say. And you got a special bottle of beer that was like the biggest beer that they had ever brewed up into that point.
And if you go to,
it's a barley wine.
God, what is it? The event before Super Bowl.
Calm Before the Storm.
Yeah, if you go to Calm Before the Storm, they always have, they usually have Stonewall on tap.
Yeah,
Like,
I think that's where I had it before, and it was like this just fucking like syrupy, oxidized mess because it's
Well-
like 10 years old.
yeah,
it's like
but
old as fuck.
I think what's cool about Stone, they do know how to archive their beer. I mean, they
They have
keep
one of
us,
the biggest archives.
they
I think.
cellar their beer
Yeah.
and then they refrigerate their beer for a long
Kegs,
time.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they can't.
Kegs,
Yeah,
bottles,
like they're really.
I hand it to them.
You can go to Pasadena and get like a 2010 double bastard
Right.
growler fill if you want. Like
Man,
something-
we got a keg in 1995 pale ale.
But no, they're really cool at doing that. But you gotta go get a growler fill. You're not gonna. It's not a bottle you can put in your on a shelf in your cellar. But they're really good at archiving their beer, and I think it's mostly because they want to see what's happening with it.
Right.
That makes total sense. Like,
Which in this case is mostly
What
just
did Wood
oxidation.
Stout cost this year?
don't know. That's that 3.0 right there?
The 1.0 was $9.99. It's got a price tag on it still, so I'm like, I feel like it's like $15 now.
That sounds
I'm
right.
gonna guess it's probably.
Thanks, Obama.
It's just because I don't like it doesn't mean I don't like Stone. I mean, I'm a fan generally of most of their stuff that they've been putting out. So
I'm one of the few defenders of the new pale ale.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. To me, this kind of
like the new
exemplifies the things that I don't like about Stone. They tend to be overly hot. They tend to be overly aggressive, and that's why. I mean, like some of their beers are. I mean, who's gonna argue against Enjoy By? Nobody. The beer is amazing, but that I tend to stray away.
And Gerber.
And Gerber. But I tend to stray away from Stone stuff because normally it tends to be overly aggressive and, overly hot.
I think with this though, Matt, I think you have probably one of the best palates of anyone I've ever met.
Oh,
next
thanks.
to Dr. Bill.
You honestly got a beautiful palate.
Jason, you too. I mean, okay, let's just say this. All of you guys have better palate than I do. And so trying all three vintages side by side says a lot for this beer. And I mean, I'm going to be honest, the first, when 1.0 came out, I wasn't a fan.
Right.
And I'll drink it because it's not that bad, but yeah.
And if
it's
somebody
not
hands
that
me,
good either.
If somebody opens a bottle of this and is like, "Do you want
you guys
some?" I'll be like,
backed
"Okay," but I wouldn't buy it.
I wouldn't seek it out.
I wouldn't buy a bottle. I wouldn't buy it on draft. It just again, it feels like there's elements there that could work, and they're just not tied together. Like there needs to be a backbone there that ties together all these weird flavors that they're throwing in that apparently you have to taste, otherwise you won't taste the Will Wheaton in it, and like.
That's awkward.
It just, I guess we're justifying, like, it feels like they need to justify that it's a collaboration by making those elements like big, and meanwhile somebody forgot to make the base beer like strong.
I think the one person in this collaboration that can step back and be like, "Hey, it's not my fault," is Will Wheaton. He's like, "I just gave you wheat."
Yeah,
which is like almost undetectable in this beer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
it's not like there's like this huge frothy head on it. I don't know.
Somebody threw some rye in here for some part.
Is there rye in
Why
that
would you
one?
put rye in this?
Just why the fuck not?
Okay,
I guess.
outside
It's a
of the
goddamn kitchen
beer
sink.
itself, the packaging. Every year it's done by a different artist. I don't know the artists that have done these bottles. The 1.0 that I have, that was the most sought after bottle.
I believe this is the one done by the artist from Watchmen, whose name is escaping me right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Like that's a collector's item, the bottle itself.
Yeah.
Oh, you should
Shouldn't
Craigslist that
shouldn't
shit
opened
tonight.
it, yeah.
When we did the show, this is some kind of insider stuff for New Brew Thursday. When we did the New Brew Thursday show,
They didn't have 3 different bottles too?
yeah, there were.
Yeah, the first one, yeah.
And they had we had all 3 on the show, and there was a problem with that. Like they were like, well, that's not cool. Like this should be random, and we just can't. Like basically, they're saying these are limited edition bottles, so the fact that you have all 3 on your show is not cool because they should just be randomly picked from the boxes because that's how they're packaged. And we're like, oh, didn't know that was a problem. Like, we thought it'd be cool to show all 3 because you're selling all 3.
Wouldn't you want to see the artwork on all?
Yeah, well, and it's also like this is where it's being made and sold. So
we're doing a show with the CEO.
Finding these 3 bottles in this place where you have all this beer probably isn't going to be that difficult.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I don't think 2.0 and 3.0 have been the same way. They've been like one, bottle art for each one. But they're all it's really, really cool bottle
I like
art.
the artwork,
It
sure.
looks good in your cellar.
Except there's Will Wheaton on it. And fart.
And the fart guy.
Greg Cook is
one
cool
of the
on it.
artists that did it was the a webcomic artist from a comic called Hijinks Ensue. That was like the more comic-y one, not the like superhero one. Who I actually was a big
the one
fan
that was
of.
kind of like panels?
Yeah. That was a Joel Watson from Hijinks Ensue, which is a webcomic that I actually really enjoyed.
Joel Hodgson?
Or Joel... No, that's a different guy.
Yeah, I was going to say Joel Hodgson is from Mystery Science Theater.
That's a different guy.
Not the same guy.
I fucked it up. Fucked it up.
Thanks, Jason.
Well, whatever. It's a guy from Hijinks Ensue. Look it up.
All right, sweet. So this was enlightening.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
It's kind of disappointing, too.
Yeah, it was. That's true. But, shit happens.
I feel like this was a bad way to end session 21.
I
I mean, and I don't want to hate on Stone. I feel like
we're not hating on him. It's
I
a
feel
critique.
like they're gonna watch this show. Someone's gonna watch it.
No.
No one from Stone is going to pay attention to this
No,
show.
Greg Cook's gonna watch this.
No, I think
guaranteed.
Here's the thing.
He'll listen to it or watch it. Whatever.
I was explaining this to somebody. Critiquing a beer is much like critiquing an album where maybe you don't like the beats, or maybe you don't like a trumpet here and there. But
the trumpet.
if they're like, if a beer is aged to the point where there's off flavors or something like that, imagine that record has a hissing noise through it that's arguing with like the quality of a record.
Yeah,
that's kind of like, that doesn't help it.
I feel bad for criticizing these beers though.
It's a critique.
Don't feel bad. It's okay.
It's a thing.
That happens.
It's like looking at art and you go, I don't like that artwork.
Yeah.
You can be like, hey,
I'm fine
this
with it.
band rules, but I didn't like that song.
Next year,
Or
the best song.
or that album.
Yeah, you'd be like, Weezer, Hash Pipe, that was a miss. Fucking don't do Hash Pipe again.
stop doing hash pipe.
I kind of agree with you.
Yeah.
That song was the worst. As a big Weezer fan, I remember they took that hiatus or whatever.
Yeah.
And then one day I was listening to K-Rock or something, and I'm just hearing this. I'm like, what is this garbage? And they're like, new track from Weezer. I'm like, oh man, I really like that band. What's this shit?
Yeah, but I feel like this is the third edition of this beer. Maybe
The Hash Pipe version.
Yeah,
Which in this case was actually the best version, but
should they continue doing this?
Yeah, everybody else but us.
yeah,
likes
because
it.
they're going to be buying the shit out of it.
Yeah.
No,
The
the world
consumers, that
loves
is.
this beer. We don't, but everybody else does. Like, everyone goes crazy for it.
Yeah, instant sellout every year.
And there's people I see
good
online
for them,
who
I guess.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know, man.
No,
I don't
yeah.
get it. Hey,
All
viewers at home, write into us and tell us
What do you think?
if you like Woot Stout. Tell us why.
Yeah,
What's up with it? Like,
Exactly. What do you like about Woot Stout?
explain yourselves.
Yeah, actually, if you want to send that email, you can send it to feedback@fourbrewers.com. If you want to get in
Segue.
touch with us online, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. You can find all that information at
Also,
fourbrewers.com.
Tumblr.
Also,
Tumblr.
we're on Tumblr.
I am getting more active on our Tumblr account. I'm
Oh, sweet.
making these super sweet GIFs or GIFs, however you want to say
Don't
it.
They're
fucking nobody
gifs.
wants to say GIFs. You
I
son
know,
of a
it's all
bitch.
Nobody.
GIF.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the coup?
High five, Jason. High five, yes. It's a GIF. It's
That was
not a
the-
fucking GIF.
that was
Even
a-
though the guy who invented
We're out of reach.
even though the guy who invented the GIF calls it a GIF.
Yeah, well,
But,
fuck that guy.
It's an acronym. You can pronounce it however the fuck you want.
Tumblr
Exactly.
is like Facebook with less
Only
people,
not.
but everyone sees your posts.
And more boobs.
Like if you're
A lot of porno GIFs on Tumblr.
It's the best
true.
ones.
But if you like us on Facebook, like you are seeing like 10% of our posts.
Also, don't forget Tumblr has a infuriatingly terrible comment system. So where you can't actually comment
That's-
on something, you have to like repost it and add
Yeah.
your thoughts,
I
which
think-
is
yeah.
horrible.
But
they're
also kind of great.
But I'm okay.
kinda
worst.
great.
But if you're a Tumblr fan, we're on Tumblr and we're trying to make that
You're
happen.
Tumblrina.
Like
A Tumblrito.
Snapchat's tough. Yeah.
I like the Kubi.
Periscope.
It's kind of good.
Let me see the Gooby.
like
Hold on, before we go.
let's Periscope the Kuvi.
All right, we're gonna Periscope the
All right,
Gooby.
everyone, wait. Since we're talking about social media and
Jesus
us
Christ.
on our stuff, and we're gonna let me.
It's not bad.
The Woody Stooty.
Is it good, Matt?
I don't know. I haven't had it yet.
Okay, wait.
I'm waiting for the Periscope.
Okay,
yeah.
we're doing the Periscope right now.
You're not meerkatting this shit?
No, fuck.
Woo!
No.
Woo!
Hold on. Let's see.
I'm still waiting.
We're waiting. I'm typing.
You're fucking my outro.
Via Twitter.
Yeah, no, this
fuck my
outro,
outro.
We have time
Via
left.
Twitter.
I had a beautiful segue, and
It
now
was
you're
beautiful.
fucking it all up. Jesus Christ.
Via Twitter, Duke Aaron says, "Never jump in the fucking hot pile."
Yep, he's right.
That's my new Twitter bio. Never jump in the hot
I
pile.
love Duke.
All right.
Duke's a good guy.
All right. So we're on Periscope right now.
Are we
talking
on
about-
Periscope right now? Okay, sweet. I have here a Kuvi of all 3 years of Woot Stout.
So in case you missed it, we have the Woot Stout 3.0,
3.0.
Woot Stout 2.0,
2.0.
and hand me the bottle, Jason. I can't reach it.
The OJ.
The OG
Ha.
with the badass label, Woot Stout 1.0. And we've mixed them into a cuvee. If you don't know what a cuvee is, it's a mixture.
These
of,
are my dumps.
It's a blend.
These are my three
In an
dumps.
appropriate glass, no less. Let's give this a shot and see what it tastes
Oh,
like.
shut the fuck up, Matt. An appropriate glass. You're an asshole.
It's
That's
beer
my
for
dump
punks.
class.
Still pretty gross.
All right, so I know we're outroing the podcast here, but for everyone on Periscope.
This tastes like a fucking ashtray. It tastes like it tastes like a nutty.
Denny's?
It tastes like a nutty chocolate ashtray.
Denny's
I like the
pecan pie
Kubi.
eaten ashtray.
I like the Kubi, all right.
I'm going to try it.
Barf.
It wasn't as bad as 1.0. Like,
We're like in social media inception right now. We're like
Seriously.
live hangouting, us periscoping, us podcasting. It's weird. It's weird and awful.
it is something awful.
I have nothing to say about that.
Truly is something
Jason,
awful.
drink it. Drink it.
I drank it earlier, but I'll drink
No,
it
drink it again. Tell us what you think.
Yeah, it's not bad. I think I'm just becoming numb to it because I've drank a lot of this shit now.
Yeah, I think it just shreds your palate to the point of
Right.
like non-existence.
Yeah, it's just like, oh yeah, well.
So yeah, we're outroing the show, but we are on Periscope literally right now. So
Yeah. Okay.
Find us on Periscope now, not later.
what's
That
up,
was
Mondo?
farking off.
What's up, Mondo? All right, go, Matt.
I'm just sort of. If you want to find us
Exhaled like
online, you can find
booze.
us on Twitter, Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram. Find all that information on fourbrewers.com. You should go on patreon.com and maybe give us some money because you like us. You can find that information.
I like me.
Patreon.com/fourbrewers. You can give us 50 cents, a buck,
Are we on
$2 an
Tinder?
episode,
Yes.
whatever you want. Yeah, swipe us right.
Should we go on Tinder?
Yeah, we should.
What will we do on Tinder though?
Find
Swipe
women to
right.
get laid.
We'd have better
If
luck
you-
on Growler.
Mouth pores.
Yes, yeah, we would have better luck on Growler because we're men.
Mouth pores all day.
If you want to get in touch with us directly, you can hit us up at Facebook at Four.
Apparently, there is alcohol in Woot Stout. Feedback at
Feedback
fourbrewers.com.
at Four Brewers. Brew the
Feedback.
shit. Brew the shit out of it. Jesus
Woot the
Christ.
stout out of it.